Have you ever picked up your phone, just for a second, and suddenly, an hour is gone? Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share won't just help you stop scrolling, it might give you your life back. Not someday, not next year, starting now. Because the truth is, you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're just distracted. And distraction is stealing everything: your focus, your energy, your future. This is the story of someone who almost lost it all to a screen, and how he found his way back. His name was Kael Viremont, not famous, not rich, just stuck. Every morning, his alarm rang, 7 a.m., but he didn't get up. He reached for his phone. Just 5 minutes, he told himself. 5 minutes turned into 50. Then an hour. Then panic. He rushed through his day, already behind, already tired. At night, it was worse. The room was dark, only the blue light of his phone glowing against his face. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Endless videos, endless noise. But inside, silence, heavy silence. He felt invisible, like his life was going nowhere, like everyone else was moving forward, and he was just watching other people live, while he existed. There was a moment, a small one, but it mattered. He was sitting at a cafe, cold coffee in front of him, the smell of roasted beans in the air, people talking, laughing, living, and him, head down, thumb moving, scrolling. Then he looked up, just for a second, and saw a girl sketching in a notebook. Focused, calm, alive. No phone, no noise. Just present. Something inside him shifted. A quiet thought. Why can't I be like that? But the moment passed, and his thumb kept moving. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Nothing changed. And then, something broke. One night, he dropped his phone. Not hard, just enough. The screen flickered, then froze, then went black. Silence. No notifications, no escape, just him. And the quiet. He stared at the blank screen, waiting, hoping it would turn back on. It didn't. Minutes passed. Then something strange happened. He felt anxious, restless, like something was missing, like he didn't know what to do with himself. That scared him, because for the first time, he realized he didn't control his habits, they controlled him. "This is bad," he whispered. "This is really bad." That night, he couldn't sleep. The room felt heavier, the silence louder. His mind raced. Thoughts he had been avoiding for months came flooding in. What am I doing with my life? Why do I feel stuck? Why am I always tired, but never satisfied? He turned in his bed. Again, again, again. Nothing changed, nothing will change. The words echoed in his mind, and for a moment, he believed them. The next morning, he walked outside. No phone, no music, just the sound of wind, cars passing, birds in the distance. It felt unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable, but also real. Too real. That's when he met someone. An old man, sitting on a bench, feeding pigeons, calm, still, watching the world without needing to capture it. Kael hesitated, then sat beside him. No reason, just curiosity. They sat in silence for a while. Then the old man spoke. "You look lost." Kael gave a weak smile. "Yeah, I think I am." The old man nodded, like he already knew. "Phone break?" he asked. Kael blinked. "How did you know?" The man chuckled softly. "Because I see it every day." "I used to be like you," the man said. "Always busy, but going nowhere." Kael looked at him, really looked. There was something different about him. Peace. Not fake, not forced, real. "How did you fix it?" Kael asked. The old man turned slightly, eyes steady, voice calm. I didn't fix my life. Pause. I replaced what was wasting it. Kael frowned. What do you mean? The old man smiled. Empty habits leave empty minds. Then he leaned closer. And full habits build full lives. Kael felt something shift again, stronger this time. What habits? He asked quietly. The old man stood up, brushed the crumbs off his hands, and said one line, one rule that would change everything. Just one rule. Replace 1 hour of scrolling with 1 hour of creating. Every day, no excuses. Kael sat there, still, processing, creating. He hadn't created anything in years, not since he was a kid. Drawing, writing, building things out of nothing. When did that stop? The old man started walking away, then paused, without turning back. If you don't choose what fills your time, he said, something else will. And just like that, he was gone. Underscore, 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 underscore. Kael sat there alone. But something was different. The noise in his head had quieted. Just a little. And in that space, a decision began to form. This is where his life changed. He didn't go home right away. He just sat there, staring at his hands. No phone. No escape. Just a choice. It felt small, almost pointless, but also heavy. Like this one decision could shape everything. That night, he opened a drawer he hadn't touched in years. Inside, an old notebook. Dust on the edges, pages slightly bent. He flipped it open. Sketches, ideas, half-written thoughts. A version of him he barely recognized. He remembered sitting on the floor as a kid, drawing for hours, no pressure, no audience, just joy. He smiled for the first time in weeks. Then he paused. What if this doesn't work? The doubt crept in fast. What if I quit after 2 days? What if nothing changes? He closed the notebook, sat back, stared at the ceiling. Nothing is changing, nothing will change, the words returned. Louder this time. He almost gave up right there. Almost reached for a phone that wasn't working. Almost chose the old habit again. But then, something inside him pushed back. A quiet voice. Try once. Just once. He opened the notebook again. Picked up a pen. His hand felt stiff, unfamiliar, like he had forgotten how to begin. The first line he drew was terrible. Crooked, shaky. He stared at it, frustrated. This is stupid, he muttered. This won't fix anything. He threw the pen down, leaned back, closed his eyes. A micro moment, a small failure, the kind that usually ends everything. But this time, something was different. He didn't leave. He didn't distract himself. He stayed. And after a minute, he picked up the pen again. Slowly, carefully, line by line. No rush. No pressure. Just trying. Minutes passed, then more. The world around him faded. No noise, no scrolling, no comparison. Just him and the page. When he finally stopped, he looked down. It wasn't perfect, not even close. But it was something. Something real. Something he made. And that feeling, it hit different, deeper, quieter, but stronger. The next day wasn't easier. His phone was fixed by morning. Notifications exploded. Messages, videos, endless pull. His thumb hovered over the screen. Just one scroll, just 5 minutes. The old loop whispered again. But then he remembered the rule. 1 hour of creating. No excuses. He hesitated, then turned the phone face down. Opened the notebook. Day 2. Harder. His mind kept drifting. He checked the time. every few minutes. Restless, uncomfortable. This didn't feel like progress. It felt like resistance, like his brain was fighting back. And maybe it was. Because for the first time, he wasn't feeding it noise, he was forcing it to focus. And focus hurts at first. Day 3. He almost quit. No one cares about this, he thought. This isn't going anywhere. He stared at the blank page for 10 minutes, did nothing, just sat there, frustrated. Then suddenly, he remembered that girl in the cafe. The way she looked. Calm, present, alive, not perfect, but real. He took a deep breath and started again. One line. Then another. Slowly. Something shifted. Not outside. Inside. The noise got quieter. The urge to scroll weaker. Not gone, but weaker. Like a voice losing power. Days turned into a week. Then 2. Not perfect days. Some messy, some skipped, some filled with doubt. But he kept coming back. 1 hour, every day, no excuses. He didn't realize it yet, but something was changing. Not his life, his identity. He wasn't just someone trying to quit scrolling anymore. He was becoming someone who creates. And that changes everything. Because when your identity shifts, your habits follow. And for the first time in a long time, Kael wasn't just consuming life, he was building it. Weeks passed, not perfect weeks, not clean, but real. Some days he woke up ready. Other days, he didn't want to move. The phone still called him, still whispered, still tempted him with easy escape. And sometimes, he gave in. One night, after a long day, he picked up his phone again. Just for a minute. A video. Then another. Then 10. Time slipped. Fast. When he looked up, 2 hours were gone. Gone. He felt it instantly. That hollow feeling. That quiet disappointment. He sat there in the dark, screen still glowing. This again. He placed the phone down slowly. Not angry, just tired. A different kind of tired. The kind that comes from repeating the same mistake. He looked at his notebook, closed, waiting. And for a second, he didn't move. The old thought returned. See? Nothing is changing. Silence. Nothing will change. That line again. Heavy, familiar, dangerous. But this time, he didn't believe it fully. Not like before. Because now, he had proof. Small proof. Quiet proof, but real. He opened the notebook. Even after failing, he opened it. That was new. That was different. He picked up the pen, hand steady this time, and started again. That night, he didn't try to be perfect. He just showed up, and something inside him clicked. Failure didn't mean reset. It meant continue. That changed everything. Days turned into routines. Morning felt lighter now. Not easy, but clearer. He didn't reach for his phone first anymore. Not always, but less. Instead, he reached for something else. A pen, a book, a thought. He started writing small ideas, random thoughts, little reflections. Some didn't make sense, some were messy, but they were his, and that mattered. One afternoon, he walked past that same cafe again. Same smell, same noise. And there she was, the girl, still sketching, still calm, still present. But this time, he didn't feel small. He didn't feel behind. He felt connected, like he finally understood. He stepped inside, sat down, opened his notebook, and began. No hesitation, no comparison, just presence. This is where his life changed, again. Not in a big moment, not in a dramatic breakthrough, but in something quieter. Consistency. The old man's rule echoed in his mind. 1 hour of creating, every day. No excuses. It wasn't about quitting scrolling, it was about replacing it. Because empty time always gets filled. If not by purpose, then by distraction. Weeks turned into a month, 30 days. He didn't even notice at first. But one morning, he did something strange. He forgot his phone at home. And he didn't panic. He didn't rush back. He didn't feel incomplete. He just continued his day. That's when it hit him. I'm not the same anymore. He stood still for a moment. Let that sink in. Then whispered something. Something that defined everything. I don't escape life anymore. I build it. That was his identity line. And it was real. Not forced. Not imagined. Earned. His energy changed. His posture changed. Even the way he looked at the world changed. Colors felt sharper. Sounds clearer. Life slower. In a good way. He started trying new things. Reading. Writing. Sketching. Even walking without headphones. Just listening. Just thinking. Just being. The hobbies weren't the point. The point was this. He was present again. And presence is power. Because when you are present, you can choose. And when you can choose, you can change. Most people never realize this. They keep scrolling, keep consuming, keep waiting. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for clarity. But it never comes. Because it's buried under noise. He wasn't special. He didn't have more time. He didn't have more talent. He just made one decision and repeated it every day. And here's the truth, the uncomfortable one, the one most people will ignore. Most people don't have a time problem. They have a replacement problem. They don't remove bad habits. They don't replace them. And that's why they stay stuck. So now, let me ask you something, honestly. How many hours have you lost this week? Scrolling, watching, avoiding. And what could those hours have built if you used them differently? Try this for 30 days and comment below.